Hello, I'm Scott Wrighton. I serve as Decatur City Manager, and every week it's our pleasure to give you additional information about your city government via these videos that can be accessed online and which are sent to the media and other places. I want to talk about three really unrelated topics, but all of them involve the work of the city government that might be of interest to you. The first has to do with some programs that we are just now launching to assist our neighborhood revitalization and overall community development work. On April 11th, the City Council conducted a study session. A study session is a meeting of the City Council, but where they don't actually take a vote. They sort of roll their sleeves up and talk about items and give staff direction about how to bring back final documents for final action if that's necessary. And of course, the staff has been working a long time on all the different sorts of strategies that we'll use, and there's lots of them, to advance the City Council's neighborhood revitalization efforts. Two of the programs that we launched, one is called the Owner-Occupied Rehab Program, and the other is called the Landlord Rehabilitation Program. And both programs, one is a loan program, the one available to landlords is a loan program, the one available to owner-occupied housing is a grant program, although you have to be in the house for a minimum of 5 years for it to become a grant. If you leave sooner, then you have to pay back a portion of it. But as long as you're planning to stay and enjoy the improvements that you're going to make through the rehab, then it becomes a grant. And it covers things like roof repairs, porch repairs, exterior as well as interior steps, foundation and related structural improvements, accessibility, especially for occupants of a house that may have disabilities, repair or replacement of defective mechanical systems, electrical systems, HVAC, and so forth. If there's lead in the house, particularly in the paint, then that can be addressed with this money as well, and a wide range of energy improvements that will make the house more energy efficient. We also cover exterior painting, trim, and fascia improvements, and a few other improvements to the house in order to really rehab the structure. Now, although the focus of the Community Development Department is on target areas in the urban core of the city, roughly between 22nd Street and 48, and from Lake Decatur north to Garfield Street. We do make some exceptions, but that's where the focus is. But that's a fairly wide area, and there's a lot of houses that need rehab in that area. I'm pleased to tell you that the owner-occupied grant program, just in the short number of days that we've had it out there, we've already been the recipient here at the city offices of 313 applications, and we're still taking applications. So I'm very pleased about that. And we've received 143 applications from landlords for the rehab loan program. This program is also being done in cooperation and with the assistance of the Land of Lincoln Credit Union, which not only helps us get funds managed in a certain way, but sometimes a homeowner or a property owner may want to do more work than what the city's program covers. That's fine. They can work with Land of Lincoln Credit Union for financing for some of those things. So this is just two of the programs that we're launching. They're being launched right now. There are more to come that deal with other aspects of the rehabilitation program, and probably about 7 or 8 in all. So stay tuned, and I'll talk more in future weekly videos about some of those programs. If you have an interest in either of these programs, the owner-occupied program or the landlord program, please contact our Community Development Department on the 3rd floor of the Civic Center offices downtown. One of the other things that is a key priority for the Mayor and City Council, in fact, it's our second priority after neighborhood revitalization, is workforce development. There are around 1,800 or 1,900 unfilled jobs in Decatur as we speak. And some of that is because there simply aren't the people readily available to go into those jobs. But in some cases, there's people in the community, but they don't quite have the skills, or maybe they've been displaced from another job somewhere else in a totally different field, and they need to retool. They need to get some special training. Or maybe they have literacy problems or some other barrier to getting into that field. And so workforce development is a way, it's the words that we use to describe several programs that help people retool, retrain, get new training, augment the training that they already have so that they can be more employable and they can make a higher wage, have a better position, and as a result have a better life. And so we are partnering with Richland Community College, who offers some of these programs, with Workforce Solutions, and with other agencies around town. In the near future, we're going to be rehabbing a portion of the second floor of the Decatur Public Library building. The library actually occupies about 75% of that building, and the remaining 25% is owned by, the whole building's owned by the city, but we've been putting other uses in there. An employee clinic, Project READ is located there, some other 501c3 offices. We're trying to get a what's called a Think Well or Make Well space in there, which also helps train and retool people on new skills. And so we're going to be building some classrooms and some offices related to those programs and those projects. And we think that that's an ideal location for it, right in downtown Decatur. We're a lot of, in the heart of the target area, much more easily accessible than going out to Richland Community College. And certainly our partner with these projects is still Richland Community College, who brings those programs downtown. So that's just one piece of the overall emphasis on job retraining, job retooling, skills retooling, and you'll learn more about that, those opportunities and how you might be able to take advantage of yourself. I've personally had the opportunity to meet with one of the classes that is engaged in that, and found I was very impressed with folks who decided they wanted to deliberately making decisions about how to take their life in a different direction, learn new skills that will be useful for them for the rest of their lives. One of the other major initiatives that the City Council will be dealing with during the summer months has to do with the collection of solid waste and recycling. The city doesn't operate under a contract with the waste haulers. We do it instead by adopting an ordinance of the city government that sets forth what the requirements are, and then companies that are the private waste disposal and handlers in the community have to follow that ordinance if they want to be engaged in that business in the city of Decatur. There's been a fair amount of consolidation of those private companies over the last several years. In fact, just in the last 3 years, we've gone down to 6 companies. And it wasn't that many years ago that there were more than 24 private haulers picking up trash and recycling. The ordinance that the current services provide for needs to be updated. The way that carts are managed, the way that yard waste is handled, and several other aspects of it need to be updated and reflect changes in the industry for recycling as well as disposal of things that are hard to get rid of. The EPA has put new mandates on household hazardous waste, on electronics, and a lot of other things that are not allowed to go into the landfill. So in the summer months, we will have some discussion of that at a couple of different meetings. I've discovered that people in Decatur are very interested, intensely interested even, in the programs available for the disposal of recycling and garbage and other special wastes. So those discussions will be ones that the City Council will have in the coming months. There's been some disruption in all of that created by the fact that Waste Management, which has been a hauler in Decatur for many years, bought a much larger operation in Decatur called Advanced Disposal. And then 2 of the haulers on the east side of the city were acquired by a national company called GFL, and that has created some disruption. And because these companies have had trouble getting workers to drive the routes and to learn the routes, there have been disruptions created in the form of people not having their recycling or their garbage picked up at all because those companies didn't have enough people to drive. That has settled down quite a bit. The amount of complaints that we get has gone down, but it has certainly informed us in a very clear way that there's more to be done to make some changes and to update this program. So I look forward to sharing some of those details with you in the weeks ahead. As always, I really appreciate the feedback that you give to the city, and I appreciate the fact that you tune in to these videos every single week. Thanks for listening.